I damn near crashed my car when I reached under the passenger seat in my buddy Jake's SUV and found one of Irma's earrings. The fucking thing practically burned my fingers. Custom made. Silver with that twisted blue stone she swore no one else had. I'd heard about it for 3 goddamn months before I finally caved and bought the pair for our anniversary. $2,000 I couldn't afford, but she'd looked at me with those eyes, and I'd been stupid enough to think they only lit up for me. The car swerved. A horn blared. I jerked the wheel back, heart hammering against my ribs. Jesus, man. You trying to kill us? Jake laughed, oblivious. His perfect white teeth flashed in the afternoon sun, the same teeth I suddenly imagined sinking into my wife's neck. I held the earring tight in my fist, like it was a smoking gun. Evidence. Proof. Jake didn't even notice. He just kept yapping about football stats and playoff chances while my brain lit up like a crime scene, connecting invisible dots that had been there all along. Did you hear me? I said Alvarez is gonna choke in the fourth quarter. Always does. Yeah, I managed, voice sounding distant even to myself. Always does. They weren't even supposed to know each other. I met Jake last year when he transferred to the marketing department. Corporate golden boy with his MBA and his family connections. We hit it off over beers and bullshit. Became what I thought were friends. Irma never came to work events. Never asked about my friends. Said she couldn't stand corporate fakeness. And Jake? Man, he'd go on and on about how he was done with dating after his ex took him to the cleaners. Said he was focusing on his career. So why the hell was my wife's earring in his damn car? I slipped it into my pocket as Jake pulled into my driveway. Thanks for the ride, I said, already reaching for the door handle. No problem. Hey, we still on for the game Sunday? I forced a smile. Wouldn't miss it. I stood in the driveway, watching his taillights disappear around the corner. 6 years of marriage. 6 fucking years. The dogs barked from inside the house, excited for my return. Irma's car wasn't there. Thursday. Yoga night. Or so she'd said. When I got home, I poured 3 fingers of whiskey and waited. 2 hours later, I heard her key in the lock. She smelled like lavender and sweat when she kissed my cheek. Her hair was damp at the temples. Good class? I asked. Brutal, she said, dropping her bag on the counter. Martina's on some power trip. Had us holding warrior pose for like an hour. I nodded, ice clinking against my glass. I waited until she was brushing her hair in the bathroom, that nightly ritual I used to find so endearing. Now I just saw the performance of it all. Hey, I said, leaning against the doorframe. Where are those blue earrings? The ones I got you last year. She froze. Just for a second, but I caught it. Her eyes flickered to the mirror, meeting mine before darting away. Her brush paused mid-stroke. Probably in my jewelry drawer. Why? Just wondering. Never see you wear them anymore. She shrugged, too casual. They're heavy. Pull my earlobes down. That so? I asked. Funny, since you begged for them. Said they were perfect. Did I say that? A nervous laugh. I mean, they're beautiful, but practical for every day, you know. I stepped closer. Mind if I look for them? Her knuckles whitened around the brush handle. What, now? I'm about to shower. Won't take long. I walked to her dresser, pulled open her jewelry drawer. Rifled through the tangled mess of necklaces and bracelets. No blue earrings. Not even the one missing its partner. Huh, I said. Not here. That's weird, she mumbled, not meeting my eyes. Maybe I put them somewhere else for safekeeping. Maybe, I agreed. Or maybe they're just gone. I dropped it, for now. Spent the next few days pretending I was busy with work. Watching her. Noticing how often she checked her phone. How she'd take calls in the other room. How she'd changed her password on her laptop. I slept next to her like nothing was wrong while my brain played detective on a loop. Remembering all those late yoga classes. The girls' nights that left no digital footprint on her Instagram. The weekends she needed space to recharge. The new underwear I never saw her wear. I felt like a goddamn fool. Thursday came around again. Yoga night. Don't wait up, she said, kissing me goodbye. We're grabbing drinks after. I waited 30 minutes after she left, then followed. Not to her yoga studio. I drove straight to Jake's neighborhood, parked across from his building, and waited. 20 minutes later, I watched my wife's car pull into the visitor spot. Watched her check her makeup in the rearview mirror before getting out. Watched her practically skip to his door. My stomach turned to ice. I wanted to storm over there. Kick down the door. Make a scene worthy of reality TV. But that wasn't my play. Not yet. I sat there for 2 hours, engine off, fingers numb from the cold. When she finally emerged, her hair was down, clothes slightly rumpled. She was smiling that private smile I used to think was just for me. The next day at work, Jake brought me coffee. Asked about my weekend plans. Mentioned he might be getting a promotion soon. All with that shit-eating grin of a man who thinks he's getting away with something. Congrats, man, I said, clapping him on the shoulder. You deserve it. On Friday afternoon, I left work early. Told my boss I had a migraine. Instead, I walked into that cozy little corner cafe down on Parkside, the one with those huge glass windows. The one Irma had mentioned once or twice as having the best chai lattes in the city. Funny how the brain catalogs these little details, saving them for when they finally make sense. And there they were. Not even trying to hide. Her, in that green dress I'd bought her for Christmas. Him, leaning forward, eyes locked on her like she was the only woman in the world. Her hand on his arm. His mouth on hers. Right there. In public. Like I didn't exist. Like 6 years of marriage and 2 dogs and all those promises didn't mean jack shit. A waitress asked if I wanted a table. I shook my head, vision blurring at the edges. I didn't make a scene. Didn't charge in there like some testosterone-fueled jackass. Instead, I took out my phone. Zoomed in. Clicked. Perfect evidence, captured forever. Then I walked out, the bell above the door chiming cheerfully as my marriage disintegrated behind me. I spent the weekend in a cold, calculated rage. The kind that doesn't burn hot, it crystallizes, becomes something sharp and precise. I drank too much bourbon and pieced together their betrayal like a jigsaw puzzle of lies. Jake's company. Family run, super clean image. Old money with old values. The kind that can't afford scandal. The kind where character still mattered, at least publicly. Irma. She'd been dying to start that wellness brand. All natural skincare with some bullshit Sanskrit name. Had been talking about it for years, but never had the connections or capital. Then suddenly, 3 months ago, she'd gotten serious about it. Started working on business plans. Making mock-ups. Talking about investors. Jake's firm had a wellness division. I remembered him mentioning it at a company picnic, one Irma had conveniently missed. I found their little project folder on her laptop while she was out Sunday morning. Walking the dogs, she'd said. Password wasn't hard to crack. Our anniversary, but backward. Sloppy. Inside the folder, mock-ups, launch dates, investor leads, all tied to Jake's firm. Their emails made me sick. The barely disguised innuendo. The "can't wait to see you again" sign-offs. The "our secret" bullshit. So I made a few calls. Sent a few emails. Their pitch deck mysteriously landed in a rival agency's hands, Jake's company's biggest competitor. By Monday afternoon, I got word through a former colleague that Irma had been blacklisted. No reputable investor in the city would touch her project now. Jake. His boss got an anonymous tip about inappropriate workplace relationships and leveraging company resources for personal ventures. The email included screenshots of their correspondence, carefully selected to maximize damage without revealing the sender. He was fired by Monday evening. Neither of them suspected me. Why would they? Good, boring, predictable Mark. The guy who apologized when you stepped on his foot. The faithful husband who worked 60 hours a week to afford the house she wanted in the neighborhood with the good schools, even though we'd agreed children weren't in our future. Then came the final move. I printed that cafe photo. High quality, 8 by 10 glossy. Their faces clear as day, lips locked like teenagers. I taped it to our fridge, right next to her stupid smoothie recipe and the save the date for her sister's wedding. Next to it, I left a note, I hope it was worth it. Then I went to work. Acted normal. Came home at my usual time. But she wasn't there. The photo was gone from the fridge, note crumpled in the trash. The dogs whined at the door, unfed. I checked my phone. 3 missed calls from Jake. 5 from Irma. Voicemails I deleted without listening to. When she finally came home, mascara streaked down her face, she didn't even ask where I was. Just stared at me sitting there in the dark living room, mouth open like she'd swallowed glass. Mark, I can explain. No need, I said, voice calm. I've seen enough. It's not what you think. I laughed, the sound harsh even to my own ears. It's exactly what I think. You and Jake. How long? She swallowed hard. 4 months. But Mark, it was a mistake. 4 months isn't a mistake. It's a choice. Made day after day. Please, she whispered. We can fix this. Go to counseling. Is that what Jake suggested? Before or after his daddy fired him? Her face paled. What? Oh, you didn't know. Jake's out. So is your little skincare empire. Funny how fast gossip travels in this industry. Understanding dawned on her face. You did that? I shrugged. Actions have consequences. You ruined everything, she screamed, suddenly finding her rage. We were going to tell you. We were trying to find the right time. Like after you cashed your first investor check. Or after you moved into his condo. I stood up, eerily calm while she fell apart. By the way, he's been sleeping with his assistant too. For at least a month. Guess the new wore off. You're lying, she said, but doubt crept into her voice. Ask him about Melissa. The blonde. Ask him about the weekend in Vermont when you were at your mom's. I'd made that up on the spot, but the recognition in her eyes told me I'd accidentally hit the bullseye. Christ, was everyone fucking everyone these days? I packed that night while she sobbed in the bathroom. Threw clothes and essentials into 2 suitcases. Called my brother in Cleveland, arranged to crash on his couch. Left the dogs, they were more hers than mine anyway. Left the wedding photos on the walls, the memories boxed in the attic, the life we built on quicksand. I left the earring, just the one, on her pillow. A little parting gift. Left the key on the counter. No screaming. No begging. Just the cold, satisfying silence of someone who doesn't play the fool twice. 3 months later, I'm in a studio apartment across town. New job, less money, more freedom. I ran into Jake once, at a bar downtown. He looked like shit. Tried to apologize, said they'd ended things, asked if we could work past this. I just laughed in his face and walked out. Irma emails sometimes. Says she misses me. Says she made a mistake. Says I went too far with my revenge. Maybe I did. But I don't lose sleep over it. Some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. Some wounds aren't meant to heal clean. Sometimes the most honest thing you can do is walk away and let the bridges burn behind you. I still have the photo from the cafe. Kept it as a reminder. Not of her, or him, or even what I lost. But of what I found that day, my limit. The exact point where love calcifies into something harder, colder, and infinitely more durable. It's not a pretty souvenir. But at least it's real.